Hello and welcome to nothing really. My name's Travis Dow, and thanks to Google Earth Pro, I can give you a nice little tour of Prague, so I'm just testing this out. I'm not going to show you everything, just the stuff you walk by and might not notice when you're doing the super touristy route. Let's start at Museum, on Wenceslav Square. Wenceslav Square is where all the metros meet, so let's start at Museum, actually behind it to get the right perspective. Now we're right above the National Museum and the statue of Wenceslas. That strip below is Wenceslav Square, and we're facing Old Town. And actually, this is where the old city gates used to be. Now towards the other end of Wenceslav Square, we have Mustek, and if you just basically keep on walking straight past Mustek, we get to Old Town Square. This is where the famous astronomical clock is, and sites that we talk a lot about on the show, like Tin Church, and also where the scaffolds used to be, and the entrance to the underground. Tin Church is where Tycho Brahe is buried, and we can fly over Old Town, the river, and towards Lesser Town, Malostrana. This shot shows one end of the castle, and I froze it here because this is a good shot of the castle gardens, and also Wallenstein's palace, the one with the out-of-place trippy melting wall on one side of these beautiful French gardens. It's right here. Here's a close-up of the castle. You can see St. Vitus Cathedral, and this is basically the front of the castle. It's the largest castle complex in the world, and it's still in operation and used by the government, and therefore also the largest castle still in use for administration. I like this shot because right here was where Rudolf II's treasure rooms were, where he would hallucinate and stuff. Then we get the whole castle complex, not just the imperial castle, but also the palaces of the likes of Czernin and Schwarzenberg can be seen in this shot, but we talk about ghost stories on the podcast of both of those places, and also just to show how huge that Castle Hill really is. There's a lot of history here, and we mention a lot of different aspects of it just from this within this one shot. Second defenestration, for instance. But now if we go back down into Lesser Town, we can make our way back to Old Town. So St. Nicholas Cathedral is a good reference point in Lesser Town. And then from there straight downhill towards the river. Across the Charles Bridge, because I can, and freeze here. That's the Clementinum, which has cool stories of his hidden Jesuit treasure and etc. And from the bridge, it's a straight shot back to Old Town Square. There's tons of cool stuff within 2 blocks from here. I'll get to that in some other video, but I will show you guys one thing. Let's get back to Museum for orientation, and let's say you're walking to Old Town Square, so go straight past Mustek, turn that corner, but going straight really, and stop right before you get to the arch, Starbucks, and the clock where you enter the square. The block before you enter the square includes my favorite building in Prague, the House of the Two Golden Bears, basically kind of facing the clock 1 block over. This was just a test, just another tool to show you guys what we're talking about on Bohemican and the history of alchemy. So stop by the History of Alchemy and Bohemican YouTube channels to see the finished videos, and there's a lot more to come.